Hey, hello everyone, it's Blood Reaper here, and this is the first part of What If Izuku Was Half Viltrumite. Our story begins with a dimly lit boardroom with a stern older woman sitting at the table's head. On her right was a man who was blond and muscular. This was the pro hero All Might, of course. On her right was a scowling, flaming man glaring daggers at the white-suited figure with black hair. His suit, of course, resembles Omni-Man's. "Why am I here?" the man asked, his Japanese a bit unsure as he had not been on Earth for a long time yet.
You are here because we would like to offer you the opportunity to work with All Might. After all, people need to believe that heroes are infallible, and you do not have a license. Of course, because you are the only one stronger than All Might, we can't exactly force you, but we would like you to work with us.
So essentially do what I've been doing, but just follow orders and do it as a professional instead of what this world considers a vigilante. As the man spoke, Endeavor merely scoffed at the remark that the white-suited figure was stronger than All Might, and the only one in fact. Well, if I deny you guys, you'll probably never leave me alone. Fine. As the man goes to leave, Endeavor stops him. Hiyashi, was it? Please refrain from restraining people in iron bars. I had to melt them off the last time. No promises, he says as he flies off and lands a couple minutes later in the city of Mustafa. Now, when he lands, it isn't because he heard someone needing help. He lands in the backyard of a house. His house, where he lives with Inko Midoriya and his 7-year-old son, Izuku. Hiyashi at this point is happy. His cover is perfect. No one suspects that he may be here under false pretenses. He has a beautiful Earth woman, and now he has a son. He laughs as he lands and hugs his girlfriend Inko, and his son comes running up. Dad, I think I may be getting my powers. I accidentally threw something really hard against the wall today.
Yeah, he was playing one of those online games and Izuku threw his controller. Inko says with a bit of disapproval in her voice.
And what happened? When he threw it, Hiyashi asked, looking at his son. Well, that's the thing, Inko says as she looks at Izuku. It ended up in the neighbor's pool, the one at the end of the street. That could be a sign of his powers awakening, Hiyashi says, looking at his son with a mixture of pride and regret in his eyes. Izuku, he had hoped his son wouldn't get his powers. If he hadn't, Hiyashi wouldn't have had to end up conquering Earth. Or at least he wouldn't have had to include Izuku in his plans. But now Hiyashi had no choice. Dad, are you upset? Izuku asked, his eyes tearing up as he had caught the way his father was looking at him. He didn't understand. Why was Hiyashi mad at him? No, son, I'm not mad. I was just having a stressful day is all. Hiyashi says, giving his son a reassuring smile. Izuku laughs and looks up at his father. Will you train me then? If my powers are coming in? How about we make sure that they're fully awakened before we start, son? Don't want to rush things, you know? Hiyashi says, ruffling Izuku's hair playfully. Dad. Izuku says, a bit embarrassed as he looks away. Inko, however, was not fooled by Hiyashi's reassurance of Izuku. she knew something was wrong with her man, her boyfriend. She knew something was wrong, but she'd ask him later. And as Izuku seems like he's still a bit upset about not getting his training with his dad just yet, Yashi looks down at his son and offers to take him flying. Of course, this immediately cheered his son up, as Izuku loved going on flights with his father. "You guys be careful, okay?" Inko says, as she knew Hiyashi was careful. She just couldn't help but worry. And Hiyashi picks Izuku up and takes him flying. However, due to the fact that Hiyashi was still thinking about what he was about to have to do, thinking he was going to have to turn on Earth to start his mission, but due to him being distracted, he did not see the Boeing 747 that was on a collision course right for him, and before he knew it, it was so close he ended up having to go straight up to avoid it and accidentally dropped Izuku. He never done this before, but he had a lot of shit in his mind in his defense. "Izuku!" he yells out, flying downwards, trying to reach his son before it was too late, but that's when he saw Izuku hovering in the air. His son had, in his fright, awakened the flight aspect of his powers. "Well, I was not expecting that, but how about we not tell your mother, okay?" Yashi jokes, and then Izuku gets a devious smirk. "Okay, I won't tell Mom, but you gotta train me," Izuku says, and Hiyashi could not help but feel a bit of pride at the fact that his son just essentially blackmailed him. "There's my little viltrumite," he says, ruffling Izuku's hair again as he begins to teach Izuku how to fly, and he was smiling as he did so, but still, part of him knew that this was bad. He knew that he would break Izuku's heart when he realized what he really was, but he couldn't bring himself to abandon Viltrum. The Empire needed him, after all. It always had needed him. Yashi sighed and told his son to head back home, to follow him home, and of course, Izuku, not knowing how to stop, nearly ended up face planting into the dirt. Fortunately, however, Hiyashi is able to get below Izuku and catch him so his son doesn't slam right into the ground. "Well, it seems like Izuku does have his powers fully now," Inko says, noting that her son had been flying just now. "Yeah, he does," Hiyashi says proudly. But Inko kept seeing it. Hiyashi wasn't himself. She'd known him for 7 years, and despite everything, she knew that she could pick up on her boyfriend's emotions, and something was really wrong here. Inko leans in and whispers to her boyfriend, are you okay?" She asks softly. "I will be. But things are about to change, Inko," Hiyashi cryptically says as he heads inside, leaving Inko to wonder what was happening. Hey guys, that's going to be the end of part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions about Hiyashi, and yes, Nolan does exist in this universe, it's just he was chosen to go to a different planet. And Hiyashi ended up picking the name Omni-Man because, well, him and Nolan had a bet going in this AU where whoever got to their planet first would be allowed to use the name Omni-Man. So that's why he's called Omni-Man. Look forward to part 2, guys. It'll be here soon. And also, briefly to explain why Hiyashi's didn't, feel like 7 years was a long time on Earth. He's a viltrumite. He has lived for about 2,000 years so far.